Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, from the second day of the Latvian Mixed Championships. Indoor championships, of course. As you see, the hardwood floors of Ogre once again are welcoming us, and we see the first game of the day, a crossover between Salaspils Frisbija clubs and Tartu Ultimate. Salaspils coming as the second in the Group X from yesterday, and Tartu coming the third from Group Y from yesterday. A few losses for both of these teams, however, still trying to book themselves a spot in the semifinals, where they will be met by Valmiera. So that would be a rematch if Tartu wins, or a new game against Salaspils. Valmiera were quite impressive yesterday, winning all of their games against all of the opponents relatively comfortably. Some of the games were quite close, but I think Valmiera was playing with the depths of their roster quite a lot. But they did a great job. Ventspils yesterday winning against Salaspils, and I think that was the only Salaspils lost, which brought them to the second place in the group. And this is where they are trying to find themselves and book themselves a spot in the semifinals. We've already seen the first point of Salaspils, and let's see if that's going to be the first point for Tartu. And looks like a little bit of a pressure from Elksnitis there on Tonison, and maybe a bit of a step on the foot, or maybe a twisted ankle. But yeah, Elksnitis looks a little bit uncomfortable on the field right now. Unsurprising injury sub, of course, and looks like he's holding his ankle, so maybe a twisted situation there on the landing, and putting some pressure on the receiver in the end zone. But the turnover is going to stand, so whatever sacrifices Emils has made has paid off. And Karklinš gonna check the disc in and move it to Saulita. Saulita, notable absence from yesterday, but I guess some fresh legs today, of course. Gonna be useful for Salaspils. Karklinš fakes, finds Saulita once again. And back to Karklinš, and Batmanis wide open. Yep, he's seen, of course. Disc is with him right now. Gets to Orlovska. Karklinš looking for the end zone. Looks like there was some space, but Janek was also poaching that area. So Saulita is the safer option. To Podoma now, getting her first touches of the game, and Karklinš in the end zone for 2-0 lead for Salaspils. Great start for them. In about 4 minutes or so. 3 minutes, actually. Yeah, Salaspils are looking pretty well right now. Both teams warming up from the early morning, and getting ready to play this game. Notable absences on Tartu. Helen Terra apparently is in the US right now for her studies. Jakob Tam still slightly injured, even though he did play CFC, but probably playing on the sand is a lot easier than playing on hardwood, on your feet, of course, and on your legs. And when I asked Willem Tonison earlier, and what about Clara Lied, and he was like, I have no idea, what is she doing? So yes, she was at CFC, of course, a couple of weeks ago, or last week was it? However, yes, decided not to play this time. Hammer into the end zone from Tambet to Peder, and it's going to be a good point for Tartu, and they are on the board. And if you're looking for Marin Rava, you will see her, of course, in the next game. She is playing for Saku side this time. But yes, a few notable absences on Tartu squad. Veske ready to pull. Spirit captain for this outing for Tartu. Podema fielding to Karklinch. Karklinch to Jurgenson. Jurgenson the speedster, of course. Karklinch finds a reset. Looking for continuation. Finds Jurgenson's. And Jurgenson's to Karklinch. And oh, that was a hand on that. Disc from Vares. And Tartu looking to get back the break that they had conceded earlier in the game. Veske faking, gets a hammer sideways to Teder. Teder can't really find anything, finds Veske. Not an easy swing, but needing to go back and lose some yards. Teder. A scuba into the end zone for Vares, so she's gonna pick up a double happiness point. A defense and a point for her name. Lintz was the pull. Lintz, of course, the spirit captain of the squad. And also doing some pulling duties. Jurgensons and Karklinch exchanging pleasantries. Long shot, not given, but finds Orlovska. Goes back to her twin brother. Karklinch to Podema. Podema is wide open, asking for the disc. Much easier option. Jurgensons looking for something, finally finds Orlovska, and Buldure in the end zone. Buldure was living in the end zone yesterday. I think she scored the majority of Salaspils points. Great player, of course, for them. And a scoring machine, that's for sure. 3-2 after conceding a break from Tartu. Salaspils looks like managed to get a clean hold to themselves. Karklinch was the pull. Pello receiving to Lintz. Now circles it back to Pello. And Lintz once again with the disc. No real option, so Tambets is the only good one. Back to Pello. Once again to Tambets, can't really find much space, and Lintz into the end zone for Vares once again. Interesting choice of a throw, but I guess having the walls close to you. Interesting that she chose to go with the backhand rather than a flick, but maybe also could not really move the mark and needed to get the disc off quickly. And Vares, the spirit captain of the team, receiving that disc. Tonison was the pull. Nice hanging flick pull. Gasina is receiving to Karklinch, then to Saulite. Saulite finding Buldure. Buldure gets to Jurgenson. Jurgensons. Karklinch. Yeah, resets to Gasina as there are no real options in the end zone. Jurgenson, Karklinch once again. And Karklinch speeding into the end zone. However, there was a better option of Buldure, who managed to shake off her defender. And yeah, another point for her. There is another hold for Salaspils after a hold on Tartu side. Podema with the pull to Pello. Pello goes to Linz. Now Tambets to Punab. Punab still with the disc. Still count is rising. Ooh, loads of pressure from Buldure on Yannick. And looks like there is going to be a call earlier. But might be a turnover. Oh, looks like there was a stoppage earlier, and that was the reason why Lynn stopped running. And she could have gotten that disc, and hence there is a stoppage, and likely that the disc is going to go back. But of course, we will see what is going to happen. Players discussing if indeed the play was affected, as a few players actually stopped, but a few players continue playing. Looks like it's going to be retracted, as there was a foul, but some players actually continued playing. So stalling 7, so there was an offensive foul. I guess a bit of a push-off from the thrower. All right, interesting. Yeah, as the disc was coming in stalling 7, Orlovska signaled almost right away that there was a stall out, but I don't think that that was viable, and she probably retracted that call right away. So yeah, Pello apologetic about that and maybe asking questions of the receiver, as there was some space to run into, but that was not seen by the receiver. Jurgensons and Batmanis exchanging off the hands of Jurgensons, but Orlovska was quick on the pickup. Jurgensons asking for the disc right away, and Orlovska and Jurgensons just walking the disc down the sideline into the end zone for another break for Salaspils. So 5-3 is the score. Few discussions. Pello a little bit unhappy about that throw, and Pello, of course, the spirit captain of the team for this tournament. Buldure is asked to get on the line, as it is a female matching point, so female matching player, Anta Gasina, is going to pull. Linz to Tonison. Quick couple of passes. Now Linz once again on the line, and yeah, it looks like Tartu is doing the same that Salaspil did to them in the previous break. So another point, just walking it up the line, and still training by a couple of breaks to Tartu. But yeah, looks good for them so far. Daniel Tedder with the disc, getting ready to pull, the spirit captain for that team for this tournament. Batmanis fielding to Karklinch. Podemo was available, but that option was not taken. Now Buldure, acres of space for her. To Jurgensons on the far sideline in the corner. Swing to Karklinch. Karklinch doesn't like the option of Batmanis, goes to Podemo instead. And a blade into the end zone for Buldure for another score, 6-4. Yeah, well done by Salaspils to recognize some of the spaces, and there were quite a lot of open players, so maybe Tartu need to clamp a little bit and get a little closer to their marks. A timeout has been called, looks like, by Salaspils. We will be back after we take a quick break ourselves as well. Don't go anywhere. It's going to be an exciting match.
Everything you said they already knew, more or less.
Well, here's something that you didn't know. 2 of those special atomic bombs haven't gone off.
And we are back after that quick timeout. I think which was called, interestingly, by Salaspils, who have just scored. But looks like they probably want to talk about their defensive strategy and close the first half of this game quite quickly. So that was probably the reason why they have decided and elected to call it. Pello receiving the pull. Swing to Linz, but no real option. Quite a lot of clogging there in the end zone. Sauli that was inches from that disc, and that disc was defended, and a nice foot block by Karklins, almost hitting me in the face. But yeah. Great defense. Karklins gonna also pick that up. Batman is wide open on the far sideline. Nice swing to him. Not many options, but Orlovska and Orlovska making Karklins to drop on the ground, but still pick up that disc. Another cycle through Batmanis and Orlovska. Now Gasina getting the first touches in this point, and Karklins making some fancy swinging to Batmanis. Batmanis finds Karklins once again. Some faking and a lefty backhand to Batmanis. Batmanis once again to Karklins, and Karklins to Orlovska. A twin point. Looks like whatever Salaspils was talking about in their huddle during the timeout worked out for them pretty well. So they are managing to close off the first half with another break. So 7-4 is the score. Teams are gonna discuss some of their strategies, of course, for the second half. Probably Tartu need to be a little bit closer on the mark and maybe more precise throwing. But things are working well for Salaspils, even though they have conceded one break and lost one of their players. It looks like Emil Zeltsnitis is not going to go back on the field for this game after twisting his ankle quite uncomfortably in the first couple of points, donning his white hoodie. I guess that indicates that he's going to be out, unfortunately, for this game, but hopefully he will be back in the next games. Podema getting ready to pull. So it was quite important for Salaspils, of course, to finish off this half quite well, as they would be starting the second half on defense. But virtually nothing has unchanged. And Linz, unfortunate for her, just out of reach. Not an easy disc. And that's another opportunity for Salaspils to get another break in this game. Podema, blade to Jurgenssons. Tambits was around but not applied enough pressure, and then another swing to Podema, and Podema to Buldura with an interesting celebration. Wanted to punch that disc, but not entirely worked out. Alright, still good celebration. Another point for her. I think 3 in this game, if the memory serves me right. Gasina preparing to pull. Jurgenssons being sent off to the bench by his teammates, of course, as it is a female matching point. Pello to Teder. First couple of passes. Teder can't really find anything, but gets a hammer off to Linz, and once again a little bit long for Linz. Teder, of course, the spirit captain for the squad for this game. Quite an important match, of course, for both teams if they want to progress further in this tournament. Batmanis to Podema. Podema with the blade into the end zone for Karklinch, and that's a perfect throw. Picture perfect. Another break. 9-4. So 2 breaks in a row to open up the second half. Finishing with a break. Looks like, Salaspils finally figured out what Tartu are doing on offense and also on defense. So, managing to run away and pull away quite comfortably from Tartu. Let's see if Tartu will find some turbulence and will manage to bring it back a little bit. Linz to Kusk. Kusk, finally finds a release valve in Tonison, and Tonison to Teder. To Tambits, apologies. Looks like Tambits was not ready for that disc and slowed down a little bit, and knocked off the hands. And that's a fancy scuba to Saulite from Jurgenssons, and a good score. Another break, just 1 pass needed in this counter-offensive. Look at the shape on that disc, and Saulite well managed to keep that disc in for another break. 10-4. Morning did this in the chat. Very unfortunate for Emils Elksnitis to fortunately be injured, I think, in the first point of the game after applying some pressure on the receiver on the Tonison. He did manage to get a turnover out of it, but quite unfortunate for him. Of course, hopefully he will be back after receiving some help from physios and applying some cold spray, of course. Tartu, after conceding what seems to be 5 breaks in a row, are taking a timeout. Unsurprising, of course. Looks like a few players on Tartu are also not feeling very well in terms of the health, as it is a little bit cold in here. But still, their presence is needed on the field. But maybe, of course, not very easy to run around if you can't breathe very well. So yes, I can understand how uncomfortable Crystal Linz is feeling right now. That disc was bricked. High disc. Kusk was trying to get it. However, Karklinch was a little bit taller and managed to get the disc out of there, and after a few swings, a throw into the end zone for none other than Buldure. Another break, 11-4. Does not look great, of course, for Tartu. But hopefully they will get a few points on the board. Podema. Ball goes up. Veske gonna field that. Gets it to Pello. Pello finds Stambits. Stambits on the far sideline, looking for options. Finally finds Pello. And Pello is asking questions like, where are my cutters? Veske. Back to Pello. Pello finds Stambits. Stambits to Punap, then to Veske, and Veske into the end zone for Stambits for another score for them. So finally finding some feet and some more scores. Finally getting a hold, and a clean hold nonetheless. So not a bad point. So finally finding the way to work around the defense of Salaspils. A false start for Linz, as she had seen a person walking on the field with the child, so did not want to hit them, did not want to put any children at risk. We appreciate that, of course. Buldure and Karklinch exchanging the disc. And to Jurgenssons, and Jurgenssons with another great scooper. Looks like he's working on his scooper this tournament. Gets the disc to Gasina for the score. 12-5. Game point for Salaspils. If they will manage to get a break this time, that will be game over. And Salaspils will book their ticket to the semifinals against Valmiera. Linz and Tonison exchange. Oh, good hands from Kusk. Finds Veske. Veske now goes sideways to Tambets. Tambets to Linz. Linz finally finds Kusk. Lots of pressure from Batmanis, and Kusk with a hammer into the end zone for Veske, but a little too far. And Kusk is quite upset with himself there, but that disc was a little bit too high and a little bit too far. And Kaidi Veske, the veteran player for that Tartu squad, was not able to get it. Batmanis. Oh, throws into the hands of Linz, and Linz to Kusk, who is making good on his earlier mistake. Oh, looks like Linz was poaching in the perfect place there, as Batmanis wanted to get it to Saulita, but an upsetting and unfortunate mistake from him. Unusual mistake, I must say. So an offensive hold for Tartu, but now Salaspils will come out with their offense. Karklinch was looking deep for a few options, but did not like either of them. Went to Saulita. Saulita, same thing, and Saulita now
trying to go to the end zone, but no, cuts under. Receives the disc from Bulduren. And Saulita into the end zone for Jurgenssons for the game. 13-6 is the result. So Salaspils is going to play Valmiera in about an hour's time at 11:20 local time, while Tartu are gonna go drop down in the rankings and gonna play semifinals for the lower half against Ventspils at 12:40 local time. Stay tuned. Next up, we're gonna bring you another pre-semifinals of Ogre against Sako in approximately 10 minutes. Once again, we're gonna be looking at the quarter finals. So the winner gonna book their ticket there. Don't go anywhere. We will be back in approximately 10 minutes. Thank you for listening and enjoy your Sunday.